What's up, YouTube? This next video that I'm bringing to you, we actually did this live. It's called Power People. It's a live segment on the Instagram channel. If you're not already following, follow the Instagram channel. We do different things there than we do here. So follow the Instagram channel, subscribe to the YouTube, and we're gonna get into this segment called Power People. This guest, this guest was definitely powerful. One of the best ones that we've had. Her name is Vella Ellerbe, and she is a holistic wellness coach. And she caters to the nurturers of the world, the caretakers, the mamas out here who put so much stress on themselves. But you got to realize where your wellness stands. It stands within you. You got to take care of yourself in order to be able to take care of everybody else, right? So let's get into this next video. Welcome back. Welcome back. It is Trayvon Pratt with AIM, always improving the mind. And I'm bringing you guys some more power people. So with that, our next guest, I'm highly excited to bring her on. We're going to talk about a topic that is rarely discussed, at least from what I've been able to see. And I'm going to keep on saying it. We can't have community without communication. I learned a lot from this person just within a few brief moments of conversation. We had a brief conversation and I learned so much about the topic that we're going to discuss today, right? And the best part about it is it's a pretty serious topic, but how she delivers it, how she makes it fun. It's the energy for me, okay? So I met this person through social media. It's the power of social media, right? I met her through social media through a supportive post that I had made and somebody else, had tagged her in, and ever since then, we just been locked in. So, genuine person, love the energy, power person, and we about to get it in, man. We about to have a great one this time, just like the rest of them. So much value is about to be dropped right here, right now. So, before we get into that, guys, if you're here now and you haven't already started following the page, follow AIM, always improving the mind, and DM us. We all about mindset here. Everything is mindset, perspective, perception, everything is mindset, and we here for you, okay? We here for you. You can talk to us, DM us, follow us, the whole nine, okay? So I'd love to go ahead and bring my guest on. Evolve with Vella.
Hey,
Hello, hello. What's up? Wonderful.
I'm doing good. How are you today?
Man, I'm awesome. I like how we kind of like coordinated here.
Yeah, we did that, didn't we?
That's awesome. Look at that synchrony. It's just like automatic. So yes, Vel, man. First of all, thank you. Thank you for coming in and joining us today. And you have a powerful message, man, a powerful message. And I haven't stopped thinking about it since we've spoken. And if you guys aren't already in tune, I'm pin her page so that you could go follow her. But yeah, so instead of me doing all of the talking here, Vella, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start it off because I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Let's start it off with go ahead and introduce yourself.
okay, so first of all, thank you for having me. Like, yeah, like he said, as soon as we talked, I was like, I'm a fan. The world needs in this space, and I just want to give you so much gratitude, like so many flowers right now while you can feel them and see them. Like, we need you, Black man, in this space. And yes, that first and foremost. So thank you for having me. Yeah, it's an honor. So my name is Vella, and you asked me who I am, and you know how I do. So I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I'm all those things. That most important to me is I just try my best to be a good human being, man, a whole lived human being. As far as the work that I do, I'm a holistic wellness coach and a postpartum care provider. It's a lot that lay underneath both of those umbrellas, but for the most part, I help the nurturers who are out there, the women who mother, the mothers. You don't necessarily have to have a baby, but I am solely committed to the people who care for others, the caretakers, the mothers, the nurturers, to fully be indulged within themselves, to love on themselves, to develop self-care routines. I actually have share space at a place called Mamas Who Breathe. It's a group that I created. Again, you don't have to be there, but just to pour in. As far as the postpartum care work that I do, that is postpartum work for mothers who understand that first 40 days and who want more information about the first 40 days after birth to come back into their bodies holistically, like on every level. It's really important. Yeah. Thank y'all for all the support. I see y'all. Hey y'all.
Yes. Talk to him. Right, hey, listen, I said it was going to be a dope one, a powerful one, and I meant that because I talked to a lot of women who have come across these types of issues that you deal with. And I say it's rarely spoken on, especially within our community, or at least in in my perspective, in my experience, because of course, as a man, I haven't experienced this. I'm a nurturer, I'm a caretaker, yeah, but I haven't created life and brought it into the world and then felt the effects of that weighing on my body and all of that. You know, like so much power behind that. So like I said, thank you for just like being in that space, in that realm, and creating the opportunity for people to actually, you know, have that space to talk to somebody about these types of things. That's not provided in hospitals. That's not provided, you know, I'm sure there's books out, but I haven't seen any. And things of that nature. It's just like, wow. So, and again, your energy makes it easy to talk about. Makes it easy to talk about. You definitely have your experience. It shows, okay? It shows. So, so yes, Vella, you said you're a holistic wellness coach. Go ahead and tell us, what do you do? Like, let's go ahead and get into it.
Yeah, so I started, you want me to tell you like how I got into holistic coaching versus, or do you?
Go ahead and explain what holistic coaching is.
Yeah, so holistic coaching is whole body work. It's whole person development, right? It is knowing that you're multidimensional. And so we make sure that we tap into all of those things. What I do is a lot of different modalities, from breath work, meditation, mental rehearsal. It just depends on who the client is sitting in front of me. I got kind of on this journey, right? Because I realized that, you know, I was in big on weight loss, and I was like, that's cool, that's cute, but you know, a lot in the way. And then when you work with someone long enough, you realize that it's more to it than just the one thing, because there's a lot of things that's standing in. So we work on everything. When I work with a person, it just depends on, like I said, who's sitting in front of me.
Yes. You know, the personal approach. We're gonna go step by step, one on one, connected with each other.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I love it, man. So that's what holistic wellness is. That's what your background is. So yes, I would love for you to explain, how did you create this? How did you get into this? Like,
Yeah, so I kind of hinted at it earlier. So I started off as a health coach, and my demographic was weight loss, right? And so every time I
yeah,
was doing the weight loss work, I realized it was so much more to the person. And I would get really frustrated because I was trying to do like the different things and different steps, and it was like, this is not working out. So I kind of that was over 7 years ago. What led me in
mm,
straight holistic coaching, and that's the only route that I take now. That's the only way that a person, can work with me, is I experienced postpartum depression. So once I experienced postpartum depression, for me, it was one of those things I had to really stop to figure out what happened. And I want to talk about this in a space as a personal experience with postpartum depression, because postpartum depression
yeah,
so many different ways for so many different people. In my case, what happened was I did not tell the truth. Right? When my doctors were asking me, when my families were asking me, Vella, how are you, Pie? They call me Pie. They say, how you feeling, Pie? Like, what's going on? And I'm just like, no, I'm fine, because I had adopted into the narrative that, I was strong. I had to be that person who I couldn't let anybody know something was wrong with me. And so after the baby, when I wasn't feeling myself, I just lied all the way through until I couldn't lie anymore. But before then, being a very spiritual person, what I ended up doing was I went straight to source about it. I went to God about it, like, listen, okay, I need this. So I have a paradigm to know that and feel that God works through people. And so for me, what that looked like was I started getting all these little, synchronicities that were happening, and things were coming, and the people were coming, and the information that I needed to start to feel better in my body. For me, depression was the connection with food. I was eating like trash, you know what I mean? I wasn't getting enough.
yeah,
I was not going outside at all. I had this thing in my mind that like my infant baby shouldn't be outdoors. I don't know. I was so disconnected. I was so out of alignment. And so having all those things, I started to realize that I didn't feel like myself. So slowly making my way back, once I started being honest with my doctors, and I was telling her, she was like, oh, it sounds like you had postpartum depression. So she ran me through another test, which I have feelings on that I won't speak about right now, which was on a test that was computerized. It was about 20 questions, and it varied from if I wanted to commit suicide to if I cried every day. Well, neither of that looked like what I felt like in my body, right? So that's when I knew that there was kind of like this flaw in the system. And I knew that if we could get to a point of prevention work, meaning that if your self-care could be beyond getting your nails done and getting your toes done and your hair and all of those things, like if we could go really deep with self-care, that maybe some of this stuff could be prevented, because we are a part of, whether you think about it, and I hate, I don't want to say woo woo, but sometimes it gets flipped into the woo woo world, like whether you think about it or not, like we are a part of this earth. So you are connected to this earth, and you should be in communion with the earth. And when you're not, it just leads for a lot of off balance. You know what I mean? Like, how time outside and you are a reflection, my love, it's not making sense. And so once I really started getting back in tune with that, I started to feel like myself. And I said, you know what, there's a lot of space and room for women and people and human to do a lot of prevention work. Like, what does it look like to be in your body and eat well and drink enough water and spend time outside and get enough rest and do all these things, and then let's see if you still feel sad. And for me, I did not. For me, I didn't feel.
yeah,
For me, I felt like I was back in my body. I can't take you. So that was what it done for me. And I was like, okay, this is what it looks like. This is the work that I'm doing with my clients. This is the foundation. So I always consider that the foundation. And I even have that over at Evolve with Vella every Friday, where we tap in and we get back connected to see, like, just bring it back to the front of your awareness, because you're a human. You're not going to get 100 score across the board, but how many of these things can we tap into? How many of these things can we really get connected to and keep as a practice in our life? It's a practice. And that's why I consider everything I do a practice, because as quick as you can be in flow, you can come out of it. But the beautiful thing is you can always restart. you can start again.
That part.
Yeah.
That part. Okay. Preach. Look, dropping gems. Dropping gems. See what I meant, y'all? See what I meant? I'm feeling everything over here. Everything. Yes, how to get back in tune with yourself. You're not perfect. Nobody expects you to be perfect. So get the image and the perception of perfection out
Yes.
of your mind, because these things that we truly yearn for, people look for confidence and love, and these types of things are daily practices. They are not a one and done thing. You know why so many people, I look at it like so many people like get married, for instance, and you wonder why the marriage fall out. That's because once you have the title of marriage, now both of y'all comfortable, now both of y'all slacking. It takes both of y'all working this relationship in order for this relationship to work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me go there for a second, because I feel like it's relevant. Let's do it for just 1 second. And I can't talk about nobody else, right? But I can talk about me. Listen, I used to have with my husband, before we had children, where I expected him to make me happy. I expected him to provide happiness for me. Like make it make sense. Is like, how are you not a complete human being? How are you not a complete person before you do this? And then here's the gag, because the social norms, they will have you thinking, right? Once you get married, the things that we see and we're fed by programming, the house, the dog, the kids, and everything's perfect. No, that's when the work really starts, because now you're two different individuals on two different paths, but you're living side by side. And then you have to know how to come together while still being individuals. And that's a huge part of the work. Who are you outside? Who are you outside of your mate? Who are you outside of your family? When it's just you as the singular person, who are you? Right? Right? And that's the self-care that keeps you, because if you can be in tune with who you are, if you can get clear on what keeps you as a person, like, that's a whole nother level. That's a whole nother, you know what I'm saying? So I feel saying about relationships and marriage. Yes, it's the thing. It's the thing. You get me? Okay, I'm trying to contain myself, because I like to talk.
Listen, I'm over here jumping. Look, come on now. Come on.
Yes.
Man.
Yes. Got so much. I appreciate
it. I appreciate you, man. And like, easy to talk about with you. Like this it's like, let's make it make sense. Like I tell people, like, happiness stems from you. And like, people get upset with me all the time. I could be pretty blunt, when it comes to telling the truth. But like, people get upset with me all the time. I'm like, well, like, they say things like, only my kids can make me happy and stuff like that. And I'm like, you realize that they're their own. So as soon as the kids go off and do their own thing, now you're upset. That's because your happiness is not based on what somebody else does, no matter how close these people are to you. It all stems from within.
Yes. Yes. 100%. Yes. And that's why some parents, that empty nest syndrome is a thing. No, there's no such thing as empty nest syndrome. What there is a thing of is not knowing who you are on a soul level. So now you don't know what to do with yourself now that you don't have children in your home. You've never been you're not in the habit of spending time with yourself alone, because you devoted all in everything of you, which I'm of the paradigm, first mama, then family. And not in this selfish way, not in this like, oh, I'm not going to take care of my children. No, I'm going to make time for me. I'm going to get up, right? I would get up to take my kids to school. I would get up to go do something for somebody else. I'm going to get up to go sit in meditation with myself. I'm going to get up to go and sit in devotion with myself, right? And carve out so that when those empty spaces of windows, I'm swimming again. I'm like, okay, we you know? For those times when you feel most alone, where you feel completely indulging yourself, you know?
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do. I'm all the way with you. I'm all the way with you, man. I'm all the way with you. See, and like it goes back to the basic principle where it's like you can't give but so much from a low place, right? You can't give but so much from a low place. So if you're tired, you're fatigued, and you're all the way out of it, stressed, but you still like harboring on love, if you're not loving yourself and building that in yourself, then even though you're giving 100%, your 100% is like this. Well, when you're in tune with yourself and you've given time and attention to yourself, you paid attention to yourself. And this goes for not just the mamas and the nurturers and the caretakers out there. This is for everybody. This is for you entrepreneurs. I cater to you entrepreneurs. We think that once we start the business, that the business takes over. You know, we think like, okay, so I got a business every day, every waking hour, I need to be working on this business until it's at the level of success that I see for myself. And you can grind, but I'm telling you, schedule some time for yourself, because then you're going to get lost. And this is how you ever see the successful who hate their success. You ever see the millionaires who like, man, fuck the money, you know, like it's because you've lost everything else because you've only focused on this one aspect. We're a whole being. So you have to focus on, you got to put into practice for all of that. You got to give yourself what you're looking for.
Yes.
You have to give yourself what you're looking for. So preach, man.
Listen, you
Preach.
listen. I didn't know it was a PK. Okay, I'm a pastor's kid, so it just jumping. Like, you know, I know everybody is different, respecting everybody's background and what everybody believes, but there is a solid foundation of you know, you give your all and then you lose your soul. What is it to gain the world and lose your soul? Like that's facts. What is it to get everything that you want and then what you have nothing left for you? So I'm completely is a huge part. I remember we vibed out over my rest post one time a few months back or so back, because that's it. That's all. Like you like making time for yourself to rest, coming out of this patriarchal, colonized way of thinking about work and allowing yourself, okay, to really rest. And somebody is saying detox from social media, people 110% taking time away. You know, I don't know how you feel about that. I don't know. I'm saying that on a social media platform, but like,
no, it's facts. It's facts.
And knowing that the way that you eat, and I just skirt it, but the way that's a good point that she said, because the way that we eat, a lot of the times we think about is what we're doing with the food that we're putting in our mouths, right? But it's also what you're watching and what you're listening to on every level. So like being in and aware, because sometimes we eat and indulge unknowingly, and then we're trying to figure out what's wrong with us on the spiritual level, on the physical level, energetically. We're not because we're not slowing down enough to know what's coming in at us, through us, you know, to us.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, man. Listen, like what you focus on, you attract. So like that's a overused statement that people don't fully realize. So just as an example, like me and you, I feel like we're on the forefront of the mental guidance for this generation. So so you'll understand this, and I'm sure the audience will too. But taking an example, last year, you had so much to look at that was negative.
Yes.
That you could get lost in. So within that, like people was taking advantage of it. I know a whole lot of Black-owned businesses that's like, okay, support Black, but they don't support Black themselves. They was just using it as marketing to gain for themselves. They ain't do nothing for the community. They ain't rebuild none of these businesses. They got people who, you know, looters coming down from whatever other state just to fuck up something, excuse me. And you got Black people broadcasting on live news getting shot every day. You know, on top of that, we're in the middle of a pandemic that we got to isolate and stay inside. Most people stay away from staying inside. A lot of people I know stayed away from staying inside. You don't even know who this family is that you created, so it was stressful. So the depression rate went up, the suicide rate went up, and a lot of murders happened. People were going crazy. It was a true tough time. And I was at the forefront telling people, okay, turn off the news.
Same.
Turn off the news. But so much is happening, man. I can't believe they're doing that. Look at our community. Turn off the news. I'm going to keep on saying it. You can't have community without communication. Talk to one another. Talk to one another. Your brother, your sister right here who's alive, talk to them. How are they feeling? How are you feeling? Get your feelings out. Because if you're just holding it in, you're ready to implode. And this is how you get to the downward spiral and believing that suicide is actually an option. It's not an option. You got to be able to get away from that. All of this can, seriously come from just having genuine, honest communication. And I was at the forefront of that. So then I had people like, okay, you got a platform. Why aren't you speaking on certain topics? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? We also have our own lane. My lane is to encourage you young people. I'm one of them. And to show you that it's truly what you believe, what you want to see. They don't, all of these things won't hold as much weight and as much power when we have actual community built up. We trust each other. We still fighting each other, we can trust each other, come in arms and build with one another. We got businesses and we could actually support each other and put more attention into us. That's an aspect. I'm not knocking anybody. I see you guys out on the forefront. I see you guys out there, wilding with the police. I see everybody. I see all of it, and it's all necessary. Not one person has to do it all. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to the detox and decluttering, it's what are you going to focus on? Are you only going to focus on the travesty, the catastrophe, the tragic, the bull, the evil, wickedness, hatred, whatever, however you want to, what I'm saying? Are you only going to focus on that? Or are you going to see that, there's actually a few Black millionaires just created? Or, there's somebody else just started another business. And there's, more Black families have come together. And the fact that more Black people want to be with Black people. The Black man does want the Black woman. Then the Black woman does want the Black man. I see this. Every guy I know that has had, some type of child born are fighting to be in their child's life. I'm not seeing the stereotypical, I ain't dealing with it, she crazy, and focusing on what the woman, or the relationship not working, so forget the child. I'm not seeing that no more. I was raised in that era. I don't see that no more. I see all the guys in my vicinity, and maybe it's my energy that rubs off, because I'm you're not going to be a deadbeat dad. Not around me. Not around me. I would tell you, no, bro, you got to step up. Go take care of yours. You know what I mean? But she tripped. So what? The child innocent. The child ain't asked to be born, but the child is here, and it's your responsibility. So step up. And these are the blunt type things that I put out there. So it's listen, what you focus on, you will attract. And I'm a testament of that, because I saw all of that. I had to declutter myself. I was I can't believe so much going on. But at the same time, I was wow, look at all of what's going on. That's great. Yeah. And I'm midst of it. That's what I want. So what I want, that's what I'm going to focus on. All right? Not to be naive, that to say nothing is going on. But what I want is what I'm going to be focused on. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I feel like what you just said was what we do on a whole level is that time was a time for you to look at your plate. And I call it my plate when I'm thinking about things that I have and that I'm doing, that I'm involved in, that I'm putting my attention to, right? Is it serving?
Right.
Does it serve?
Yes.
Is this helping me? Is this distracting me? Is this in alignment with what I'm supposed to be doing right now? Right? And so as you mentioned, just turn it off. I promise you're going to stay informed, because listen, okay, I love you, Daddy, but I'm about to talk about you. My daddy, everybody has this person in their life where when something comes out, they're gonna call and brief you. They're gonna call and brief you, right? It's so much stuff. If you get off, I'm not gonna say, because I'm very hopeful that nobody does this, but more than likely, nobody is not watching the news, getting off social media and completely unplugging for months at a time. That would have been a beautiful thing. That would have been a beautiful practice to have as a whole. So you would have been informed in one way or the other. So like you're saying, plugging from the news, does that serve you? That didn't serve you. Getting back with your unit, did that serve you? Absolutely. Seeing what was important, the prioritizing, like getting back connected to what is real, because we live in a world that wants to feed you everything but what's real. So I love that you fed out community and that you really pushed your platform for that, because that was, in my opinion, my little 2 cents, I feel like that's what it was for. I feel like that how energetically there was things working that were not for the good of the people. The blessing in all of that was that family got a chance to reconnect. People who had not been together, like you're saying, and years were back together. Families were remended. People got a chance to hash stuff out. That therapist they needed to go see, they really went and went and done that. You know what I mean? Whatever that looked like, And so it was, I agree with you. It was a beautiful time, and finding what the purpose was and looking for the light was something that I was pushing as well. And so I already was a fan, but I didn't, we didn't know each other at the top of the pandemic. That's what you were doing.
Right. We here. Man. Power. So, Vella, let me ask you a question. If you were broadcast on the live in front of an audience of 1 billion viewers, right? What would be your one message that you would like to share with the world?
Yeah, this is so good. I love it. Everything that you want to produce, see, whatever, it starts with you. Everything. And for more clarity, when I say it starts with you, I mean that connection that you have with yourself, the connection that you have with that which is higher than you, that guidance that you're tapped into. Because everything that you put out from yourself is just a reflection of how much work you've done for you, right? How much work you've done internally. So yeah, you could go and do a whole bunch and produce so much out into the world, but will you be able to sustain it? Like we talked about, those millionaires who go out there and they have this huge big business, but then they hate their actual job. They hate their work. And that's because there's no room left for self. Self was not the priority. So if you prioritize yourself and all that you do, and when I say self, I mean your whole being. So I mean that which you're connected to. I always want to emphasize on that. I mean that which you're connected to. Everything that you are, from spirit, your mental, your physical, all of that. When you focus on yourself, don't play about you. It ain't nothing you can't do. If you don't play about it, I need to write that down. If you don't play about it, you can't do. Like, seriously, wholeheartedly, I mean that.
I know that's right, man. I agree with you 110%. It starts with self, and that's why I encourage people to get in tune with themselves. I say we can't have community without communication, and that communication can broaden your perspective. I know I've learned a lot just from talking to people who have experienced things and was able to see it in a different way. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like now I could take that, try it out, and it's like I got a whole different result, and I'm thinking of it way differently now. It's like, wow, like I've seriously grown just from talking. So can't have community without communication, and it's all to put it back in self. You're just going to keep building, keep growing, so that you're a high value person. You're up here, and that's because you're open-minded and you're able to see, okay, what's right for me, what's not right for me, what I will support, what I won't support, what I will tolerate, what I don't tolerate. And all of these things, it shapes and molds you. And be completely honest, about who you are, you know, what you like, what you want. Like, be relentlessly honest about these things, because it's your life, it's your feelings, it's your happiness, it's you. It
Yes.
is you. It is you. Why would you sacrifice you for anybody else, anything else? It's you.
Yes.
You got to stay with you at all times. You can't get away from you.
Oh, and I love what you're saying. And one thing I always say is, in this generation, you know, we have this big thing about people playing us. You know, you don't want nobody to play. You don't want nobody to make you like crazy. Like, you don't want to be had yoke on your face. That's what we say, right? You don't want to have yoke on your face. You don't want to be crazy. But the biggest way that you play yourself is not being truthful for how you feel and showing up as yourself and taking care of yourself. That's, you play yourself harder by not being in tune with yourself, taking care of yourself, and being in alignment with what's really right for you. Being your authentic, I mean, your most authentic. Knowing people are not gonna like you. Everybody is not gonna like you. Knowing everybody vibe with you, but also being okay with that. You know what I mean? So I agree 110%. 100%.
Power, guys. Power. I'm like, energized is on the what over here, man. So, so, and shout out to you and your beautiful family. She has 2 beautiful boys. They smart as I don't know what. You know what I'm saying? I saw a little man like introducing, he going in the story and all that. I was like, good. I love the kids, man. I love the kids. You ask anybody, I love the kids. I hone in on the boys, because it's like I truly believe that it takes some types of man leadership to show the boy how to be a man. You know, just to be completely honest here, my biological father chose not to be in my life. He chose not to be in my life, right? And he kept on dipping and dabbing, coming back and forth to try to get back with moms, you know, trying to get that thing. And and like, I'm like, okay, I'm like single digits. I'm like 7, 8, you know, every year he'll come around once or twice. And I'm like, all right, so what we gonna do? And like, he actively chose not to be in my life, right? And then he actually said at one point that I got to come to him. I was like 10 years old. I got to come to him. I was like, what makes sense of that? The child got to come to the man? Okay. So at an early age, I developed the mindset that I'm gonna just learn what I can from other men. And I took all of the teaching that I could from the men that I resonated with, right? And that shaped and molded me to the man that I am today. With that, that was very trying. That was very difficult. And, you know, I was constantly searching. Now it's my purpose. It's aligned with me. I'm very open to connect with the baby boys and show them, like, it's so many opportunities just arise where it's like they know and they listen, they absorb. Children absorb, y'all. Do not doubt these kids. They smarter than we think. I mean, just think back to when you were a child and your parents would tell you something and you, like, as a child, you know, that's some BS, but because I'm the kid and I'm not supposed to question the adult, I'm gonna keep my mouth closed. You know what I mean? Like, the kids know, okay? And it's because they have a pure spirit, so you can't fake the funk with the pure, okay? So it's very easy to teach I teach the children, you know, like I teach the girls too, but I hone in on the boys. It's very natural to show them, you know, the perspective of, like, what a real man is, like how to stand up for yourself, how to be confident. I'm teaching my nephew, he's 7 years old. I done taught him, like, he was playing with this little Hispanic girl, and she was speaking with her mother in Spanish. I know a little Spanish, so I was like, oh, you know, say this to her. And he was all nervous. But he did it, and I'm like, you literally just said you are my friend in another language at 7 years old. Come on, man. Come on, man. And it's like things like that, and they want to talk. Like children will tell you what they're going through, what they're feeling. If you don't close them off, they will be willing to be open with you. You know, I know that we're supposed to discipline them, but we got to learn how to discipline and when to discipline and when to talk. And let me just say, I say all of that because I see it in your beautiful children. They are open, they are blossoming, they are smart as ever, and they're very comfortable with their mother and father in their setting. They are home. It's a beautiful thing, okay? I see that. I see that. So shouts out to you. Shouts out to your husband. And like, y'all are amazing. You are amazing. You're a power person. So before we get out of here, I'm going to ask you, what do you want the viewers of this live to do? What's your call to action? You want them to follow you? You want them, you know, to go ahead and plug it in. What you got for them?
Yes, thank you for seeing us. I appreciate that too. So yeah, if y'all feel led, come over, take your shoes off, hit follow, you know, join the page. Also, if you go to the link in my bio and you scroll down to the bottom, you will see join the fam. It's legit all the way at the bottom where it says it's in blue. Join the fam and get on my emailing list, y'all. We had a conversation about this. I don't really know.
Yeah.
What the future of Instagram is really going to be, but to stay connected with me and know all the things that I'm doing, you can get on my emailing list. Also, I host a monthly call that is completely free via Zoom for if you identify as a nurturer, if you want to have different modalities and ways to take care of yourself and to pour back into yourself while being in circle around other nurturers and people who identify as nurturers and are willing to take care of themselves and hold space for you, please sign up for Mamas Who Breathe. I always like to say that space goes from hood to hood to holy, because we come in as our full selves, right? I don't want you to be anything other than who you are and what you are in space always. Also, you can go to the link in my bio again and sign up for a discovery call. And I always like to say this about my discovery calls. My discovery calls are for you to get a deeper, other than this, I mean, we here, but my discovery calls are for you to get a look inside to see if the depth of my programs are for you. So you're not locked in, don't have anxiety around that. That does not mean that I think you're going to sign on the dotted line, right? It's just
right.
A really good look at what I'm doing and for me to make sure that we're a perfect match. So that's what I'm doing. That's where I am. I hope to see y'all around. Thank you so much for having me. This was so much.
Man.
Yeah.
This was awesome. This was like completely amazing. I knew it was gonna be powerful, but wow.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna plug in one more thing. She does have upcoming products that she's in the works for. You can go ahead and if you want to explain, you can, or you can just say be on the lookout.
Yes, thank you so much for that, because it slipped my mind. Yes, so I have a course that will be coming out really soon. Again, the way you can find out about that is to get on my emailing list. The majority of all the information about my work and all that comes out there first, and then I make my way to Facebook. So if you would like to be in live community course with me, it's going to be an intimate setting. So I have two different things. I have a course coming out, and I also have a group group offering that I'm going to be doing that is going to go to my email first. So it's going to, whoever gets that and whatever that looks like, small, intimate setting. So thank you.
My pleasure, man. I thank you. You're a high value person, high caliber frequency. I love it. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on today and dropping so many gems. So many gems.
Please keep doing what you're doing. Please keep doing. Thank you for all the space that you hold for all those young men and your clients and all the people who are looking to get started. You are seen, and we honor you right now. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Them are facts, man. Evolve with Vella, guys. Evolve with Vella. Follow Vella. Get on her emails list. Yes, we had a little typhoon with Instagram. We had a little with Instagram. Instagram was playing for a minute. You know what I mean? So in order to stay in tune, in order to stay in connection, get on her emails list, okay? I promise you it's all beneficial. All right. Vella, you stay awesome, okay? I'll be in touch with you.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day. Peace and purpose, y'all. Later.
Awesome. Wow. Wow. Like, wow, man. Power, 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 power person. If you are here tuning in live now and you haven't already, follow the page. AIM, always improving the mind. Okay. We providing all these types of power people to you that we've connected with, that I've connected with. And if you're, I would love to talk to you too. So the DMs are open. Okay. It's a safe spot. And you can come to us, come to me. You'll be talking to me directly. Talk to me, okay? You can't have community without communication. I'm here for you. And it's all stemming from the mind. And that's what we hear. We build the mindset for success and self-development. So get in tune with us. Follow Evolve with Vella for holistic wellness. And she specializes with you moms and you nurturers and you caretakers, okay? Anybody that's faced postpartum depression, any type of trauma, listen, that's somebody who can help. That's somebody who can help. I'm glad to plug her in. Use the resources in front of you, okay? You guys stay great. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll